I met Terry at the wedding of one of my fraternity colleagues. She was there as the head of the caterer team. She was wearing a neat white blouse, a short black skirt, dark tights, and high-heeled shoes. I've always wondered how women manage to work in heels, but Terry moved confidently and energetically, coordinating her staff. Bradley, another member of the fraternity, was the best man and seemed to consider himself an important person, perhaps because of the amount of wine he drank. He started talking rudely to the staff, especially yelling at a young girl who was trying to clear the dishes. She got confused, turned around, and left, and then he allowed himself an unacceptable behavior. He hit her on the back. She dropped the tray she was carrying. I got up and went over to help her. The girl was shaking and upset. I spoke softly to her as I helped her pick up the broken dishes. "I'm sorry, he's just not himself. He usually just behaves inappropriately, but alcohol has made the situation worse." She smiled faintly and left. I watched her go, and she was very sweet. Terry, having witnessed the incident, approached Bradley and expressed her indignation. He tried to get up, but I was there and calmly led him out of the hall. Soon the groom came up and took Bradley away. I returned to my seat. Later, when the guests started dancing, I felt a touch on my shoulder. It was Terry. I got up. "Thank you for standing up for my little sister. Amy is young and doesn't know how to handle situations like this." It was really unacceptable on Bradley's part. "I'm sorry she had to go through this." "I'm Tim Ryan," I said, and held out my hand. "Terry Long, nice to meet you, Tim." We shook hands. I asked for her number, and she gave me a business card. "My number is there. Call me, please." She turned around and left. 3 days later, I called Terry and asked her out. We started dating. After about the 5th date, she invited me to her mother's birthday party. I was a little nervous, but her family turned out to be very friendly. When Terry introduced me to Amy, she hugged me tightly. "Okay, Amy, that's enough. He's mine," Terry said with a smile, and everyone laughed. "Okay, sis. But if anything, I'm the first in line," Amy said, and her mom gently pulled her back. The celebration was wonderful. When we left, I received friendly handshakes from her brothers and another warm hug from Amy. In the car, Terry grinned. "I'll have to keep an eye on this minx. She seems to have taken a bit of a fancy to my boyfriend." We went to her house. We spent the evening there together, talking and just enjoying each other's company. Everything happened calmly and warmly. I felt like I was becoming a part of something special. A few months later, I had just finished mowing my small lawn and was cleaning the lawn mower when a small red Miata pulled into my driveway. I wiped my hands on my jeans and left the garage to greet my visitor. Amy jumped out of the car and waved, heading towards me. Well, what a pleasant surprise. What brings my younger sister-in-law to me? "Hi, Tim. I, I need to talk to you. Is there somewhere we can sit?" "Of course. Come in. We can sit on the terrace. I've made some iced tea. Should I pour it?" "Yes, that would be great." I took out the tea and handed the glass to a nervous-looking Amy. "So what can I do for you, Amy?" Amy paused for a moment, then looked me straight in the face. "Tim, I think you know how I feel about you, so I just have to ask you. Are you planning to marry my sister?" "Hey, what the hell? Amy, why come here and ask me that?" "There are a couple of reasons. But first, let me ask, did she tell you about Michael?" "Michael? The guy she was engaged to a few years ago?" "Yes. She told me that they broke up when he got a job abroad and told her he wouldn't be coming back." "What does it matter? Has she talked about him lately?" "No, why would she do that?" "Amy, is there something you need to tell me?" "Damn it. I can't believe she didn't tell you." "Didn't tell me what? What the hell are you talking about?" "Tim, Michael is back. He called home last week and told his mom that he was back and wanted to talk to Terry. He didn't have her current mobile number, so he asked his mom for it. She wasn't sure what to do, so she told him she would give his number to Terry and leave it up to her to call him back or not. She immediately called Terry and told her." "Did Terry tell you anything about this?" The shock on my face must have been enough of an answer. "When she told me that she had talked to Michael, I told her that she needed to be honest with you about it. She said she was just very confused, but she would tell you what was going on. I was hoping she'd already told you, but I suspected she'd chickened out. I'm so sorry that I dumped this on you like that." "To hell with Amy. I'm glad you did it." "I mean, what the hell? Is she still in love with this guy? I have to talk to her. I have to know what the hell is going on. Thank you for taking care, coming and telling me." "Tim, I'm sure nothing has changed. You know. It didn't happen, but you deserve to know what she's thinking. Please don't tell her that I told you about Michael." She's my sister. I love her, but what she's doing is unfair to you. After Amy left, it took me a few minutes to collect my thoughts. Everything was really great with Terry. I've always thought about our future together, and we even talked about her moving in with me. Now this? I shook my head. As I was thinking about it, I suddenly realized that I hadn't actually spoken to Terry in a few days. My job kept bothering me. We exchanged voice messages, but we never really spoke. I just assumed that she was busy with work too, because at times her work was busy. But now I had to wonder if maybe she was avoiding me because she didn't want to tell me about Michael. Well, to hell with that. I'm not the type to wait around. I called her. The phone rang a few times, then switched to voicemail. I cleaned myself up, and then I dialed her number again, voicemail. I jumped in the car and headed for her apartment. Each apartment in her complex has 2 parking spaces with an indication of the apartment number. Terry's car was parked in her usual spot, and the extra space was occupied by a small sedan with the car rental company's logo on the back window. I drove into someone else's place and turned off the car. I began to guess that a rented car might mean a visit from Michael. Although, perhaps, someone came to the neighbors. I was angry. I was just about to open the door when Terry's door opened. The guy stood in the doorway for just a second and then went out onto her porch. Terry appeared in the doorway, and my heart sank. She was in her home clothes. The guy bent down and said something to her quietly, and then left. The guy turned away and walked down the path when Terry closed the door. I jumped out of the car and walked quickly towards him. When I was about 10 feet away from him, I called out, "Michael." Michael jerked his head up and stared at me in confusion. Then he seemed to realize what was going on. "You must be Tim, Terry's new boyfriend." Well, that's what I thought, but now I'm not so sure. "Do you want to tell me what you're doing here?" Obviously, I'm trying to get our relationship back, but it looks like it's going to be a lot harder than I hoped. I didn't care about his glib attitude. I clenched my fist and took a step towards him. He quickly realized that he was no match for me, jumped into a rented car, and locked the doors. I went to the driver's window and stared at him. When he was about to reverse out, Terry called out to me, "Tim, please, just let him go." I turned to face her. She looked confused. She invited me into the house. "Please come in." I stared at her for a few seconds. To hell with it. I turned around and headed back to my car, and Terry begged me to stop and come back. I was returning home while my phone was bursting with calls and messages from Terry. I was at home when Terry roared into my driveway, tires screeching. She jumped out of the car and ran up the porch. She was banging on the door, shouting my name. I opened the door and she tried to walk past me. Well, I'm pretty tough, and it's not easy to move me when I don't want to. Finally, she stepped back and said, "Please, Tim, let me come in and talk to you." "Oh, now you want to talk?" "And before that, you were avoiding me for a few days, and now that I've caught you with your ex, do you urgently need a conversation?" Terry lowered her head. "You have a right to be angry. I made a mistake. I'm really sorry. I was just confused. I need time to sort myself out." "Figure it out? Do you mean to decide whether to be with me or go back to your ex?" "Yes. Tim, I love you, but I loved Michael for many years before he left. I have mixed feelings right now. We did not discuss exclusivity, but, as it seemed to me, it was already clear. Judging by what I saw today, you're in a bathrobe. He hugged you. Was I wrong?" Terry looked away again. "Tim, I'm sorry. I really don't know what to do. I didn't want to deceive anyone. Everything happened too suddenly. You knew you should have told me right away if you were in doubt. And you let me think that I was the only one for you, just as you were the only one for me. I'm sorry. I didn't want to lose you. It's really hard for me. I love you both. It's like with a family. You can't choose just one person. When he left, I thought I'd never feel the same way again, but then you showed up. And now he's back. And now you're just talking to him behind my back. You should have been honest. I'm sorry. I was scared. It's over. We're not on our way anymore. Goodbye, Terry." Terry knelt down. "No, please don't go. I'm really sorry. I need you." I shook my head. "I believe you really love us both. But it's not enough." I closed the door. A few minutes later, I heard her car drive away. I sat down with my head in my hands. How could things have turned out like this? Until recently, I was preparing to propose to her. I shed a few tears, but I knew I had done the right thing. A few months later, I saw a message that Terry and Michael were getting married. It hurt, because I still loved her. I've met with different people, but no one has replaced that connection. Work took up my time, and I started seeing my friends more often again. 2 years have passed. I was in a bar with my buddies when suddenly everyone was staring at my back. I turned around and saw Terry, Amy, her brothers, and Michael. They came to the bar, laughing and discussing something. I respected the Long family, and I especially missed talking to Amy. She was always cheerful and easygoing. I turned to my friends. Ancient history, guys. Okay, who's the next round? We started playing darts again, and I won several games in a row. Suddenly I heard, "Well, will you risk playing with me, champ?" I turned around, and it was Amy. She came up to me and suddenly hugged me. My friends were taken aback. She hugged me tightly, and I was even a little confused. Then suddenly she said, "That's because you didn't call me. I've been waiting for over 2 years. Couldn't you have called yourself?" I promised my mom not to impose, but if you would have called me. I kept my word. But you still haven't called. My friends started laughing. Well, yes, I probably thought it would be weird after everything that happened. Strange in front of whom? In front of you, in front of your family. It's nothing. Everyone knows that I'm in love with you. Try again. I just broke up with your sister. We were planning to get engaged. But it's over, and now it's my right. Everyone knew about it. And anyway, you've been seeing someone too. So what? Okay, okay, I should have called. Exactly. I apologized. We talked, and she was glad that I finally admitted it. I don't know. Kiss me again. That's what I did. She pulled away from me and stared intently into my face. Okay, you're forgiven. Now put me down so I can show you how to throw darts. Towards the end of our match, yes, she was killing me. Her older brother came up to our group and pulled me aside. Well, Tim, it looks like the little sister has finally claimed her rights. Of course, we all knew that sooner or later she would do it. Just treat her right, and Fred and I will let you live. Thank you, Bob. I know this is going to cause some awkward moments for your family, but I'll try to avoid it as much as possible. It's unlikely to be awkward. These two, he jerked his thumb over his shoulder at Michael and Terry, are heading to Europe. He got a 3-year business trip to France, so by the time they get back, who's going to care? I smiled broadly and shook his hand. I think I'll see you at Sunday dinner soon. I joined our group, and Amy sat on my lap and hugged me. As expected, Joel jumped in. Get a room. Amy laughed and said, 2 years is a long time. I'm tired of waiting. Take me to your place, big guy. I thought Joel and the guys would lose their temper when they heard that. I took Amy to my place, and we went inside. She went into the bedroom. I caught up with her and hugged her. Amy, are you sure about this? I mean, do you really want to be with me? Tim, you're a strong man, and I'm a small woman, but I know what I want. From now on, your task is to respect my wishes. Any questions? No, honey, do what you think is right. From that moment on, we began to build our lives together. Everything happened with trust and care. Living with Amy was a whole new level of excitement. She was funny, cheerful, and resourceful. We tried a lot of new things, traveled, and laughed. Sometimes I joked that she was hyperactive, and one day I asked if she ever planned to be distracted by something else. She playfully slapped me for saying that. 6 months later, I took Amy to choose a ring that would fit on her slender fingers. Her family was delighted with our news. I was told that she and her mother are making wedding plans, and I just have to do what I'm told. Gee, I hope I get invited. Amy was pregnant with our second child when Terry returned from Europe, without Michael. It seems that he behaved undignified in his marriage. At one of the Sunday family dinners, Terry sat next to me on the porch as I held our son in my arms. He's very handsome, just like his dad. I knew that you would have wonderful children. Thanks, Terry, he inherited it from his mom. Tim, I want you to know that I still treat you well. Maybe that's what once influenced my marriage, who knows? Amy knows that you are important to me as a person, but she is my family. I'm with her. And, of course, we are glad that you are back with us. Before I could answer, Amy came over, picked up her son, and handed him to Terry. Great, sis, he probably needs a diaper change. In the meantime, we'll get some rest. Terry giggled when I looked at Amy in surprise. Well, I certainly don't mind. Now, why should we go upstairs? Terry laughed out loud and shook her head when Amy grinned. He's cute, but sometimes he slows down a bit. In the room, Amy hugged me and said, I love my sister, and I think she will be a great aunt for our children. Do you mind if she's around? Or do you still have feelings that will make it difficult for you? You are the center of my universe. My heart belongs to you. Yes, I was worried once, but since the day you came into my life, I have no regrets. I'm totally yours. Amy kissed me. Honey, I love you very much. I want Terry to be a part of our family again. but if that bothers you even a little, I'll understand. It was a little awkward at first, but then it got easier. Terry often helped with the kids. She never behaved ambiguously, did not try to invade our space. Gradually, I began to perceive her as Amy's sister, and not as a person from the past. Amy sometimes asked if I was okay, and it reminded me how attentive she was. That's why I love her. I am very happy that I have found so much love in such a wonderful woman.